So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, and obviously I'm not showing my face because the lighting is really bad because it's just a gloomy day. So enjoy the rainy weather, I guess. Um, so about the whole issue yesterday with Paul and the kidney specialist, I just find it really ridiculous that we were not able to go be seen in the office because he is a dialysis patient. And I just don't understand why dialysis patients wouldn't be allowed to be seen in the doctor's office, why they would need to be seen in the dialysis center. We got our answer today because we actually were able to see his kidney specialist today in the dialysis center. They called us yesterday from the dialysis center to say that the kidney specialist would see us this morning. So we went before Paul's dialysis treatment and he was able to be seen and we got our questions answered, but it was just ridiculous the way things happened. And I just find it really, really crazy that they treat some of their sickest patients the way that they do. Because people who are on dialysis are very sick. They're often very elderly people. There are younger people who are on dialysis as well. In Paul's dialysis center, I've seen people who are in their 30s. Obviously, Paul is in his 30s and he's on dialysis. I've seen people who are in high school. I have heard stories of, children who are on dialysis. So it all just depends on the person and their own unique circumstances and their own health. I just think that it is sickening that people who are on dialysis are made to feel like they aren't good enough to be seen in a doctor's office because they're on dialysis. And that's really how we felt yesterday because, we sat there and we waited and we were, Paul's information was taken and we were told to sit down and the doctor would see us. And we sat there and waited for a while before we were told that the doctor wouldn't be seeing us because he doesn't see dialysis patients in his office. And like I said, we wanted to talk about getting him switched from hemodialysis to peritoneal dialysis. Hemodialysis is the blood form of dialysis where they take the blood out, filter it, and then put it back in. Peritoneal dialysis is not involving the blood at all. It's where you put fluid into the person's peritoneum and then it allows the body to filter out the toxins and then fluid is drained from the body. So it's a little bit more of a natural or a more natural way of filtering the toxins from the person's body. But it's just really frustrating and, we felt really, really frustrated. I think more particularly me because, Paul started dialysis back in January and here it is almost April now and he hadn't seen his kidney specialist this whole time. He's been being monitored by the dialysis doctors and the people who oversee the dialysis center that he goes to, but he hasn't seen that kidney specialist as of yet. Well, now he did, but he hadn't seen him before today. And that was really irritating. And I just don't think that it was right. And had we been told that all we had to do was ask for Paul to be seen at the dialysis center, had someone told us that, we could have had him seen months ago. We could have talked to him about, getting Paul on a transplant list and starting the whole transplant process months before now. I feel like we've wasted so much time getting to this point, and it's just really frustrating because you feel like, you've gone through this whole time and people literally could have died within this period of time. Also, waiting for that doctor's appointment, what if that would have been an elderly person? And, what if they wouldn't have known? What if that would have just... There's a lot of people who get discouraged and they don't want to go through the dialysis process. There's a lot of people who don't finish their whole dialysis treatment. They walk away from their dialysis treatment early because they don't want to be in the center. And for them to be forced to go see their doctor in the center, in the place where they don't really want to be in the first place. I think that's a little bit ridiculous when they should be allowed to go into a more comfortable setting where people who aren't as sick as them are allowed to go. I don't know if it's because they don't want to scare the people who are still healthy enough to not need dialysis, but maybe those people need a reality check. Those people who aren't at the point of dialysis, maybe they need that reality check. You know, I don't know. I just feel like it was ridiculous the way that it happened. I honestly want to make some sort of report or complaint about it because I don't think it's right the way that these people are being treated, especially, like I said, since so many dialysis patients are elderly people. I just feel so angry and frustrated and upset because if that was my elderly relative, I would be just as upset, but even more so because Paul has his own voice and he's able to speak up for himself, but an elderly person might feel more intimidated and, you know, not feel like they're able to speak up for themselves in the same way that Paul feels he's able to speak up for himself. So I guess that's really all that I wanted to say about the situation. I just kind of wanted to vent a little bit about it. Like I said, we did get to talk to the kidney specialist this morning, and, you know, he does feel that Paul would be eligible or able to go through with peritoneal dialysis. So they're going to call us on Monday and see if that's something that we're still interested in doing. We kind of talked about it. At first, they weren't really sure about it because for some reason, the doctor didn't think that Paul would physically be able to handle doing it himself, which I don't really understand. But, you know, Paul demonstrated in the office that he would be able to physically handle doing it himself. I also told Paul that I would go through the training with him and I would help him. But obviously, you know, with me working on the orthopedics unit at the hospital on the night shift, you know, 7 days every 2 weeks, I can't be there every single night while he's doing his dialysis at home, because the peritoneal dialysis needs to be done like 8 to 10 hours every night at home, as opposed to hemodialysis is only 4 hours every 3 days, or sorry, 4 hours 3 days a week. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused. But yeah, so I just felt like it needed to be said, and I kind of got my frustrations out there, so I feel a little bit better now, a little bit more calm, but I still don't feel that it's right for people to be treated that way. So I definitely feel like I should still file some sort of complaint or do something so then other people don't feel the same way that we felt yesterday, because it's wrong. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that it's okay, if you think, you know, that this is something that should be allowed. If you had someone that you know, a friend or a relative on dialysis, and they were being treated this way, how would you feel? I don't know. Let me know what you think, and I will talk to you guys again soon.